The Galactic Council, a vast coalition of alien civilizations spanning hundreds of light years, had long viewed Earth as nothing more than a blip on the radar of the cosmos. They considered it a backwater planet stuck in its infancy with no place in the greater galactic order. To the advanced minds of the Council, humanity's struggles with war, disease, and poverty seemed like a primitive mess of chaos and confusion, not worthy of notice. Earth's technological progress had been slow and uneven, no different than countless other planets they had seen before, civilizations too young to join the interstellar community but ripe for exploitation. It was with that mindset that the Council assembled to discuss Earth's fate. The meeting room, a massive chamber carved from the heart of an asteroid orbiting a star at the edge of the galaxy, was filled with representatives from the most powerful species across the stars. A towering Zernak, with its 4 arms crossed over its chest, a shimmering Charon floating in its gaseous form, swirling with colors like liquid light, and the grizzled visage of Commander Xylar of the Threxian Empire. Their faces all looked to the central table where the vote was about to take place. Ambassador Orla of the Andromeda Alliance stood up, her voice booming through the chamber. She spoke in a tone that was calm yet firm as she addressed the assembly. "The time has come to finalize our decision on Earth. We have given them countless opportunities to prove their worth, but they have failed every test. There is no point in allowing them to continue on their path of unchecked development. Their technology is obsolete, and their species is prone to conflict. We have no choice but to impose a new order on this planet." Across the room, the other members murmured in agreement. Commander Xylar leaned forward, his voice a low growl. "The Threxian have witnessed humanity's potential. They are resourceful, no doubt, but their actions have shown that they lack discipline and vision. They are far too disorganized to be trusted with anything beyond their small corner of the galaxy. We should strip them of their autonomy and take what we need before they become a greater threat." From the back of the room came a voice, the soft but resolute tones of Councillor Kren, the elder statesman of the Krithar race. "We must not underestimate them. They are dangerous in their unpredictability, but also in their potential. Imagine what they could achieve if left unchecked. Their aggression could spread across the stars if we are not careful." The Council fell silent for a moment before Ambassador Orla dismissed the concern with a wave of her hand. "Enough of this sentimental nonsense. The time for diplomacy has passed. The Earthlings are a resource for us to harvest. Their planet is rich with minerals and energy sources we need to exploit. We can deal with any threat they pose later when they have been brought under control." With those words, the decision was made. The Council voted unanimously to impose a set of harsh regulations on Earth, and its future development fleets would be dispatched to the planet to extract its resources and enforce their will. The humans would be left in the dark about their fate. They were seen as too weak to resist and too primitive to matter in the grand scheme of galactic affairs. The decree was clear. Earth was no longer a free planet. It was now a possession of the Galactic Council, and nothing would stand in their way. The vote was sealed. The fate of Earth had been decided, but what the Council did not know was that their decision had awoken something far greater than they had anticipated, something the galaxy had never seen before. In the heart of Nevada, within a secretive underground complex known only to a handful of Earth's brightest minds, a new dawn was rising. Robert Tanner stood before a vast holographic display, his eyes scanning the data as it flowed across the air in front of him, his mind racing with possibilities. Beneath the surface of Earth, they had uncovered something extraordinary, a relic of a long-dead civilization, buried deep beneath layers of rock and dust. These ancient artifacts had been hidden for millennia, waiting for the right moment to be found, and now that moment had arrived. The team of scientists, engineers, and military strategists under Tanner's leadership had spent years deciphering the mysterious technology of the artifacts, which were scattered across the planet from the deserts of Arizona to the frozen tundras of Siberia. Each piece was more advanced than anything humanity had ever known. The artifacts contained blueprints for machines capable of warping space-time itself, harnessing the very fabric of the universe to achieve what was once thought impossible. The first breakthrough came when they discovered a set of energy cells that could generate power far beyond anything Earth's most advanced power plants could create these cells, could store and release energy on a scale that was unheard of, and they worked without fuel or combustion, simply drawing power from the surrounding space. In ways no one could fully explain, the implications were staggering. But Tanner and his team weren't satisfied with just understanding the technology. They were determined to replicate it and turn it into a weapon, a defense against the coming storm that they knew was inevitable. The alien fleets were on their way, and Earth would need to be ready. General Maria Vasquez stood beside Tanner, reviewing the schematics for what would become Earth's first truly formidable weapon. "This is it, Robert," she said, her voice low and determined. "If we can pull this off, we'll not only protect Earth, we might just be able to change the course of galactic history." Tanner nodded. "I know, Maria. The technology we've uncovered could make us a force to be reckoned with if we can adapt it to our needs. But it's not just about creating weapons, it's about creating something that will show the Council we won't be subjugated. We have the tools. Now we need the resolve to use them." For weeks, the team worked tirelessly, integrating the alien tech with human ingenuity. The project, codenamed Project Titan, was born out of the need to protect Earth. But it would become something far greater than anyone could have imagined. The culmination of their efforts was the creation of a ship unlike any the galaxy had ever seen, a massive warship capable of manipulating gravity and spacetime itself. The ship, christened Vigilance, was a behemoth. Its design was sleek yet imposing. Its dark metallic surface almost seemed to shimmer with energy, as if it was alive. The most advanced human engineers worked alongside the alien tech to craft something that was both a weapon and a symbol of Earth's newfound strength. Vigilance was capable of traveling faster than light, bending space around it to slip through the universe like a shadow. It could harness the energy from the alien cells to fire devastating beams that could rip through entire fleets with ease. As the final systems were tested and the ship prepared for its first flight, the Earth Defense Coalition held its breath. They had been preparing for years, but now was the moment of truth. Would it work? Would humanity be ready to face the coming invasion? General Vasquez stood at the command center, overseeing the final checks. "This is it," she said, her voice steady. "We have what we need to fight back. We're no longer the helpless humans the Council thought they could crush. We are the future of this galaxy, and we will make them see that." The countdown began as the massive engines of the Vigilance roared to life, and for the first time in history, humanity's greatest weapon was fully operational. With a single command, the ship launched into space, disappearing from view like a phantom, ready to meet the coming challenge head-on. The Earth Defense Coalition had done it. They had awakened a power that would change the balance of the galaxy forever. The Galactic Council had no idea what was coming, but soon they would find out that humanity was no longer the weak prey they had once assumed. The silence of space was shattered as Earth's response began. The Galactic Council had dispatched its fleets, confident that Earth posed no real threat. They believed the human race to be a fractured and feeble species, its weapons incapable of even scratching the surface of the Council's might. But Earth's new weapon, Vigilance, was a force that would redefine the balance of power in the galaxy. The Council would soon learn just how mistaken they were. On the far edge of Earth's solar system, the first wave of Council ships entered the atmosphere, their sleek forms cutting through the void. These ships were massive, their hulls bristling with weaponry and shields capable of withstanding the fiercest assaults. They had been sent not to negotiate, but to subjugate. The invasion was not a peaceful exploration, but a calculated strike to bring Earth to its knees. Commander Xyler of the Threxian Empire watched from the bridge of his flagship, his cold eyes scanning the distance as Earth loomed larger in the viewport. He had no doubt that this would be a swift and decisive campaign. "Prepare the fleets," he ordered, his voice deep and calculating. "Once we arrive in Earth's atmosphere, initiate the resource extraction protocols and neutralize any resistance. This planet will soon be ours." The fleets approached Earth with an air of superiority, the vast distances of space between them and their prey nothing more than a formality. Yet, unbeknownst to Xyler and his forces, their assumptions were about to be shattered. On the surface of Earth, within the control center of the Earth Defense Coalition, General Maria Vasquez stood at the helm of humanity's most powerful weapon. Her eyes were locked on the tactical screens, where the position of the enemy fleets was being tracked in real time. She knew the Council's ships were close, and she knew that Earth's survival depended on what came next. The world's fate rested in her hands. "Activate the vigilance," she commanded, her voice steady but filled with a quiet resolve. "It's time." The massive warship, cloaked in shadow, waited patiently in the depths of space. As the order was given, the ship's engines ignited, releasing a pulse of energy that rippled through the fabric of space. Within seconds, the Vigilance surged forward, faster than anything the Galactic Council had ever encountered. Styler's fleet was still unaware of the danger closing in on them when the first strike came. A pulse of energy, focused and powerful, shot out from the Vigilance. It struck the lid ship of Xyler's fleet with a force so immense that the ship's shields flickered and then collapsed in an instant. The hull of the ship crumpled under the pressure, and it exploded in a flash of bright light. The other ships in the fleet scrambled, attempting to identify the source of the attack, but it was already too late. The Vigilance, moving like a ghost through the stars, unleashed another wave of devastating firepower. Gravity itself seemed to bend and twist as the warship's weapons tore through the incoming fleet, ripping ships apart with impossible precision. Energy beams cut through the darkness, striking the alien vessels with pinpoint accuracy. No ship could escape the wrath of Earth's vengeance. On the ground, the Earth Defense Coalition watched as the screens lit up with reports of enemy fleets being wiped out one by one. The data was staggering. Xyler's fleet had been decimated in mere minutes. Their once mighty ships were reduced to rubble, and the survivors were left scrambling in confusion, desperate to understand what had just happened. Xyler's voice crackled over the intercom, now filled with a hint of panic. "What is happening?" he demanded. "What is this weapon?" The answer came quickly, transmitted from General Vasquez's command center. "It's Earth," she said simply. "You underestimated us." The remaining ships of the Threxian Empire attempted to regroup, but the damage had already been done. Earth's weapon was unstoppable. One by one, they were picked off as they tried to flee or retaliate, their once proud fleets collapsing under the onslaught of Vigilance's unyielding firepower. By the time the first wave of invasion fleets was defeated, the Galactic Council's confidence had turned into disbelief. The humans, once thought weak and unworthy, had dealt the Council a blow they never saw coming. And this was only the beginning. The first strike had been made, and Earth's retribution had only just begun. The shockwaves of Earth's victory reverberated across the galaxy, far beyond the solar system. The Galactic Council had barely begun to process what had just happened when the call came. Commander Xylar, his voice trembling with disbelief, sent a transmission to the central command of the Council, requesting immediate reinforcements. His fleet, once feared as an unstoppable force, was now in tatters, destroyed in mere minutes by a weapon that had appeared from nowhere. The response was swift. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session, and every representative in the room could feel the shift in the air. What had seemed like a routine conquest had turned into a nightmare. Earth had proven that it was no longer the weak, defenseless planet they had thought it to be. The Council, now frantic, had underestimated humanity's potential, and the implications were far-reaching. Ambassador Orla of the Andromeda Alliance, always the most vocal proponent of Earth's subjugation, stood at the head of the meeting, her expression unreadable. "This cannot stand," she said, her voice sharp with frustration. "We were right to consider Earth an insignificant world, but this changes everything. Their technology. It's unlike anything we've ever seen." Councillor Kren, the ancient Krithar statesman, finally spoke up, his voice slow and deliberate. "You are all too quick to dismiss the threat. We have known for some time that Earth's species has been advancing, but no one expected them to access alien technologies of such magnitude. We must understand what has occurred on that planet." Xylar, his face drawn and pale from the defeat, appeared on the screen. He struggled to maintain his composure as he recounted the events of the past few hours. Their weapon, it's not just powerful, it's beyond anything we've encountered. Their ship, Vigilance, manipulates gravity, space-time itself. It's a living weapon, able to bend the laws of the universe to its will. We tried to retaliate, but the ship's firepower tore through our fleet with precision and speed we couldn't fathom. We were not prepared. The room fell silent. Even the bravest warriors in the galaxy had never faced such an enemy. Their technologies, forged through centuries of warfare and conquest, had been rendered obsolete in the face of this new power. General Maria Vasquez, now commanding Earth's defense from their newly constructed command center, watched the Council's response from a private feed, knowing the Council would soon send representatives to Earth. They had to understand why humanity had suddenly gained such formidable strength. What they didn't realize was that the discovery of the alien artifacts had not only changed Earth's military capabilities, it had altered the very nature of humanity's place in the universe. Vasquez prepared to meet the emissaries with cold resolve. She knew they would come demanding answers. She had anticipated this moment for years, and now, Earth would show the galaxy that it was no longer a passive participant in the cosmic order. They had no intention of submitting to the will of the Galactic Council, and the message would be made clear. Earth would stand on its own terms. When the Galactic delegation, led by Ambassador Chirac of the Zernak Empire, arrived in Earth's orbit, their ship was met by the full might of Earth's defense. The Council had underestimated the resolve of humanity. They had no idea that Earth had not only discovered alien technology, but had been preparing for this day since the first artifact was found. The emissaries, expecting a frightened, intimidated species, were greeted instead by the imposing presence of General Vasquez and the Earth Defense Coalition's leaders. The message was delivered with calm precision, but it carried the weight of a planet's determination. You believed Earth was nothing more than a weak and resource-rich world, Vasque said to Chirac and the others. Now you see the truth. We will not be ruled. We will not bow to anyone, and we will decide our fate. The Council's representatives were stunned, unsure of how to proceed. Earth had made its stance clear, and it was a stance that would not be easily challenged. The once vast Galactic Council now faced a planet that had evolved beyond their expectations, and a human race that was prepared to fight for its place in the stars. The Galactic Council's emissaries, still reeling from the loss of Xylar's fleet, now faced an even greater revelation. The destruction of their invasion force was not merely the result of a lucky strike or human ingenuity. It was a consequence of humanity's unanticipated access to technology far beyond their understanding. The warship Vigilance was more than just a ship. It was an embodiment of Earth's determination and its newly discovered mastery over forces that the galaxy's most advanced species had never dreamed of manipulating. The Earth Defense Coalition, with General Maria Vasquez at the helm, had unveiled its ultimate weapon, but the rest of humanity was only beginning to understand the scale of the threat that now lay before the Galactic Council. With the Vigilance and the alien technology powering Earth's new military strength, the balance of power in the galaxy had shifted in an instant. The once untouchable galactic empires now stood on the precipice of annihilation, and Earth was at the center of the storm. As Earth's military forces prepared for further escalation, General Vasquez briefed her commanders in a high-security facility deep within a mountain range. The facility, known only as the Forge, housed the core of humanity's new military arsenal, including the full blueprint of Vigilance and the alien artifacts that had made it all possible. Robert Tanner, the brilliant scientist who had cracked the codes of the ancient alien technology, stood by Vasquez's side, his face reflecting a mixture of awe and determination. "This is only the beginning," Tanner said, his voice low. "What we've unlocked here could give us control over the entire galaxy. Vigilance is only one of many potential ships we can build. These artifacts, they're not just tools, They are a key to understanding the very fabric of the universe itself. Vasquez nodded. We've only scratched the surface. The Vigilance is powerful enough to hold off the Council for now, but it's just one ship. What happens when we have a fleet of them? What happens when we can manipulate time, bend gravity, and control energy on a scale the Council can't even imagine? Tanner's eyes sparkled with the possibilities. We'll rewrite the rules of warfare. We'll redefine what it means to be a species in this galaxy. No one will be able to touch us. Not the Council, not the Zernak, not anyone. The first step was to build a fleet. Tanner and his team worked tirelessly to reverse engineer the technology behind Vigilance, integrating the most advanced elements of human engineering with the alien principles they had unlocked. Within months, the Earth Defense Coalition had completed a second ship, even larger and more formidable than the first. They called it Resolute, and it was ready for battle. With each passing day, Earth's power grew. Military bases across the planet were equipped with new, enhanced weapons, including gravity warp cannons that could shift the trajectory of incoming projectiles or even rip apart entire fleets in the blink of an eye. Earth's cities, once vulnerable to invasion, now stood fortified with energy shields capable of absorbing even the heaviest bombardments. And the human race, once divided and fractured, had united under a single banner, one that would no longer bow to outside forces. The Galactic Council, still in shock, made the desperate decision to send a delegation to Earth. They needed answers, and they needed them quickly. Ambassador Shirak of the Zernak Empire was among the first to arrive, his ship landing on Earth's surface in a display of power and condescension. He expected to be met with submission and fear, but what he found instead was a species emboldened by the knowledge that they had the upper hand. General Vasquez stood before Shirak, her expression unwavering. You asked for answers. Here they are. Earth will not submit to your rule. We are not your playthings to exploit. You've awakened something within us that will never go back to sleep. Shirak's eyes flickered with uncertainty, but he quickly masked it with a veneer of arrogance. You may have technology, but you lack the experience to truly wield it. The Council will crush you. Vasquez smiled coldly. We're already crushing you. And we're just getting started. The delegation from the Galactic Council had no idea what they were facing. They had underestimated Earth's resolve, its resourcefulness, and its newly discovered power. The true scope of Earth's capabilities had only just begun to unfold, and as the Resolute and Vigilance stood poised in Earth's orbit, ready to strike at a moment's notice, the galaxy would soon realize that humanity was no longer the underdog. It was the new apex predator in a universe full of prey. The Galactic Council, once the unquestioned rulers of the stars, now stood on the brink of collapse. Earth's relentless strikes had crippled their ability to wage war, and with each passing day, humanity's confidence grew. General Maria Vasquez stood at the center of Earth's command facility, surrounded by tactical screens displaying the positions of the remaining Council fleets. The galaxy was teetering on the edge of a new era, one in which Earth would no longer be a pawn but the dominant power. Their fleets are in disarray, Vasquez observed, her voice calm but filled with unyielding resolve. We have the advantage. We strike now, before they have time to regroup. Robert Tanner, his mind constantly racing through the intricacies of the alien technology, looked at the data streams with a focused expression. It's time to finish this. Their remaining fleets are spread thin, and we know their weak points. If we hit their homeworlds now, we can eliminate the threat entirely. Vasquez nodded, her eyes locking onto the holographic map of the galaxy. Earth's forces were ready, and the fleets of Vigilance and Resolute stood prepared to lead the assault. It would be a direct attack on the heart of the Galactic Council's power, its capital planet, where the Council's leadership was based. A strike at the core of the galaxy's established order. The message we send today, Vasquez said, her voice firm, is not just for the Council. It's for every empire that thought they could rule over us. Earth will not be controlled. We will choose our own destiny." As Earth's fleet moved out of orbit and made its way toward the heart of Council space, the remaining Council members gathered in a high-security war room, their faces strained and filled with a mixture of fear and defiance. Ambassador Orla, still furious over Earth's defiance, was the first to speak. "They've crossed the line," she spat, pacing back and forth. "This rebellion cannot stand. They've destroyed our fleets, crippled our economy, and humiliated us in front of the entire galaxy. We have no choice but to fight to the bitter end." Councillor Kren, the oldest member of the Galactic Council, looked tired but resolute. "They are a threat unlike any we've encountered before. We can no longer rely on conventional strategies. We will need to use our most powerful assets to turn the tide." At that moment, Commander Xylar, who had once led the Council's forces against Earth, entered the room. His eyes were filled with regret, and his voice was tinged with bitterness. "I told you this would happen," he said quietly. "They're too strong now. Even with all our fleets, we may not be able to stop them. Their ships, their weapons, they defy all logic. We should have never underestimated them." The tension in the room was palpable, but the Council had no choice. They issued the command to mobilize their remaining forces and prepare for a final confrontation with Earth. Their last-ditch plan was one of desperation, a hope that their most powerful weapon could tip the scales back in their favor. Meanwhile, General Vasquez was preparing for the final push. Earth's fleets moved steadily toward the capital of the Galactic Council, a sprawling, technologically advanced city located on a lush and vibrant planet. Its towering spires and radiant landscapes were a symbol of the Council's dominance, but Vasquez knew that this day would mark the end of that era. Earth would not be subjugated. The attack began with a precision strike on the planet's outer defenses, as *Vigilance* and *Resolute* led the way. Their gravity warp technology allowed them to bypass the planetary shields, making direct strikes against the Council's military installations and communications hubs. The once pristine skies of the Council's capital were soon filled with the streaks of energy blasts, as Earth's ships tore through the defenses with unparalleled precision. The Council's response came in the form of their last-ditch weapon, the Catalyst. It was a massive energy platform capable of generating destructive pulses that could obliterate entire fleets. Its power had been designed to be used only in the most dire of situations, and the Council had hoped to keep it hidden for just such a time. As the catalyst powered up, the energy around the capital planet began to ripple, signaling the weapon's activation. Vasquez watched the readings closely. "They're deploying the catalyst," she said, her voice steady. "But they're too late. We've already breached their defenses. We can hit them faster than they can react." The battle raged on, with Earth's fleet closing in on the heart of the Galactic Council's power. But as the catalyst fired, a beam of raw energy shot through space, targeting Earth's approaching ships. The blast was powerful enough to destroy entire fleets in one hit. But Vigilance was ready. Its gravity warp technology shifted the trajectory of the energy pulse, redirecting it harmlessly into the void. The tables had turned. Earth's technology was no longer just a weapon. It was a shield. The catalyst's power had been rendered useless, and the Council's last hope was extinguished in an instant. With the heart of their power crumbling before them, the Galactic Council had no choice but to surrender. As Vasquez stood on the bridge of Vigilance, watching the destruction unfold, she knew that the galaxy had changed forever. Earth had emerged victorious, not through sheer numbers or brute force, but through intelligence, determination, and the willingness to fight for its place among the stars. The age of the Galactic Council was over, and humanity had claimed its place at the top. The message was clear: Earth would never be ruled again. The Galactic Council had been shattered. Earth's victory was absolute, but it was not the end. It was the beginning of a new era, one in which humanity would no longer be content to exist in the shadows of the galaxy's most powerful empires. The Council's surrender had been a formality, What followed would be a complete reordering of galactic politics. General Maria Vasquez stood on the bridge of Vigilance gazing out over the wreckage of the Council's capital. The battle was over. But the true challenge had only just begun. Earth had defeated the mightiest empire the galaxy had ever known. But now, humanity had to chart its own course in the vacuum left behind. "We've won," Vasquez said, her voice carrying the weight of the moment. "But now we must decide what kind of galaxy we want to build." Robert Tanner, standing by her side, studied the displays of the galactic map. Earth's victory had drawn the attention of every major empire. Some would see it as an opportunity for peace, others as a threat to their own power. It was clear that Earth's future in the stars would depend on more than just military strength. "We've shown them our power," Tanner said, turning toward Vasquez. "But power alone won't keep us safe. We'll need allies. The question is, who can we trust?" Vasquez nodded. "That's the question, isn't it? There's a lot of broken pieces to pick up in the wake of this war. We need to build relationships with those who aren't interested in ruling, but in cooperating." And there were those out there, empires who had long been oppressed by the Council's reign. Their representatives had quietly begun reaching out to Earth, hoping to forge a new path forward. Humanity's victory had ignited a flame of hope across the galaxy. Earth's success had shown that even the most entrenched powers could be toppled. Meanwhile, on the surface of Earth's homeworld, the first official meeting of the newly formed Galactic Alliance was underway. Representatives from across the galaxy, many of them former subjects of the Galactic Council, had traveled to Earth to discuss the future of galactic governance. These were the first steps toward a new order, one in which Earth would play a key role, not as a conqueror, but as a leader. Vasquez addressed the assembled representatives in the Grand Hall, her tone firm but hopeful. "The Galactic Council is no more. Today we stand at the crossroads of a new age. But this new age is not about domination. It is about cooperation. Earth has risen, but we know that we cannot stand alone. We must build a galaxy that respects the rights of all species, one where no empire rules with an iron fist. It's time for a new system, one where every voice counts, where power is not concentrated in the hands of the few." The representatives listened intently, some still wary of humanity's rapid rise to power, others eager for a future free from the tyranny they had known under the Council. The debates were fierce, but the overwhelming sentiment was one of cautious optimism. Earth had proven itself, not through blind conquest, but through a mix of strategic brilliance and unwavering resolve. And now, many saw Earth as a symbol of what could be achieved when the oppressed fought back. One by one, representatives from the Zernak, the Karen, and other empires pledged their support for the new order. But it wasn't just military power that had brought them to the table. It was Earth's ability to offer something the Council had never considered: fairness. The idea that despite its overwhelming strength, Earth was committed to ensuring that every species had a seat at the table. "Earth will lead," Vasquez said, her voice rising with conviction. "But we will lead by example. We will forge alliances, not through threats, but through diplomacy. And we will protect the freedom of every species in this galaxy. The age of unchecked domination is over. Together, we will build a galaxy where peace is not just a dream, but a reality." The room erupted into applause, not just from Earth's representatives, but from those who had once been under the Council's boothiel. The old empire was gone, and in its place stood something new, a galaxy united not by fear, but by mutual respect and the promise of a better future. As Vasquez left the chamber, her thoughts turned to the challenges ahead. The Council's fall had opened a door, but it was up to humanity to step through it. The road would not be easy. There would be obstacles, betrayals, and challenges from within and without, but the foundation was laid, and the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the will to fight for freedom could change the course of history. Earth had not only survived, it had emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to shape the future of the stars. And so, The new chapter in the history of the galaxy began, one where Earth would not be the underdog, but the architect of a new and more just order in the cosmos.